And then lastly, do you or your church follow the guidelines of the Internal Revenue Service regarding nonprofit tax-exempt organizations? Most of the churches in America are nonprofit 501c3 organizations, which means they are governed by the Internal Revenue Code of the IRS, which says to them, you can't say this, you can't say that, you can't do this, you can't do that. I know because I pastored a 501c3 church for over 30 years. About once or twice a year, I would get a real nice pamphlet in the mail, glossy, color, just sharp, first class. It never came from the IRS, as I recall. It always came from a law firm that was working for the IRS. And it would say on the inside, it would say, as a pastor of a 501c3 nonprofit organization, you may not do this, and had bullet points of all the things we couldn't do. And then as the congregation, you cannot do this, and had bullet points of all the things the congregation couldn't do. Now, I just threw it away. I just threw it in the garbage can, didn't pay attention to it, and dared them to come after us, which they never did. But the point is that the vast majority of pastors and churches, they adhere to those dictates religiously. I wish now I had saved one of those things so I could read you what it said. But they read those rules and they dare not violate. You say, you wonder why your pastor won't speak out? He's afraid of losing his precious tax-exempt status. That's why we chose, when we started Liberty Fellowship, we chose on principle to not claim tax-exempt status. Therefore, we are not under, in any shape, manner, or form, the Internal Revenue Code. Pastors are so afraid if you're not tax exempt, people won't give, people won't support it financially. We're 11 years, almost 11 years, January will be 11 years. We're still here, and not only are we still here, we're stronger than ever. Liberty Fellowship is a living testimony to the fact that God's people, truly saved, born again, God's people will support the truth. They're not supporting it for some kind of a reimbursement from the federal government. They're doing it because they love the Lord and they love truth. And I'm saying to you, Pastor, if you'll get up and speak the truth, if some of the people want to leave, let them leave. There are people by the millions across America that are looking for preachers to stand up and tell them the truth. If you want to know more, Barbara Catay wrote a book, Church in Chains, The Truth About the New Testament Church versus the 501c3 Incorporated Church. If you want to give this to a pastor, a deacon, a church leader, or just read it for yourself, this is the best booklet I've ever seen on the subject. Barbara Catay was our legal counsel during our Liberty Church Project days, and she would counsel with pastors and help pastors and churches, and what a great job she did. She passed away of cancer in 2016, left a great void across the country with someone of her capabilities and skill. But anyway, she put together this booklet, and after she passed away, I got permission from the organization that she worked with to print this book, and we printed it, and we're the only ones that have it printed. And so Church in Chains, if you want to know the truth about that issue, I recommend you get that book. So we have 19 questions so far on questions to ask your pastor when you're looking for a church. And I think what you're finding out is that we are in desperate need of real men of God with a heart for the Lord, a heart for truth, and a heart for our country.